Hello! Welcome back to Path of Exile. I made a mistake. I thought I was recording some gameplay, and I was recording the audio, but not the video. So I've gone through a lot of content without actually showing any of it. The good news is that I can actually go back and refight some of the important enemies that I encountered. But before I do that, here's a strongbox. Freezes me when activated. That's really bad. Okay, well, maybe this... Okay, a gem cutter strongbox is especially... Oh boy. Well, let's find out whether I live or die. At some point, I need to find a flask of some sort that prevents stun. Also, if I was just a little bit smarter, I would have piled on cold resistance beforehand, because that decreases the freeze duration. But you can imagine how, in later parts of the game, that could easily lead to a quick death. So, I was able to show an example of one of the really vicious things that the game can provide. So, quest-wise, one of the things that the villagers want me to do is get rid of bandits. So that's what I'm doing.
And so a new enemy of hope rises from the ashes. Time to put you out, little flame.
Nice to see you too. Well, while Oak is alive, people come out of these, I guess, magic tents. Anyway, they're limitless for the time being. So, Oak is fairly durable, but he has a bad habit of walking on my fire trails. And sometimes attacking my totem. So that worked out. Now, something interesting can happen with those bandits. Specifically, you can either kill all three of them, or make a deal with one of them and kill the other two. And these deals provide pretty strong permanent benefits. If you kill all of them, on the other hand, you get 2 skill points. But the permanent stat benefits tend to be stronger than anything that you can get with 2 skill points, so game-wise, the best thing is to make a deal with one of them. In my case, a deal with the witch, which would give very strong related witch benefits. I didn't do that, though, because I don't like bandits. I killed all of them. So let's find out if the village folk are grateful for that.
Hello. You are a hunter of man. Today you have hunted bandits. Tomorrow, when you are restless, will you hunt us? You should go. Find another hunting ground. Leave us in peace.
You're frickin' welcome! The other important thing I did was I went into a dungeon called the Chamber of Sins. Actually, this is one of 3 important things that I did. It's not immediately apparent, but this is a lightning-themed dungeon. It becomes obvious in the 2nd floor. In that place, you get lightning mages, lightning physical skeletons, and necromancers that cast conductivity, which reduces lightning resistance. So, it is highly advised to bring 2 lightning rings in. Actually, the dungeon being this blatant about it is doing you a favor, as I will demonstrate as soon as I reasonably can. It's also thick with necromancers. There's at least 1 in each room, which is a little annoying. Having gone through these places more than one time, I'm a little over-leveled, but hey, at least you get the general gist of what's in here. Let's be thankful that this place isn't like Diablo 1, where things do not respawn. And I forgot my clarity buff. Oopsies. There's another strong box. Very nice. Let's see what that thing does. Oh, very nice. And it ignites me when activated, but I'm a lot less afraid of that than I am of freeze. So, let's go. What? Am I being stun-locked? Yep, I sure am. Wow, that could have killed me as well. Lesson learned. Also, it would have been wise for me to put down a totem there. It would be wise for me to put down a totem in a lot of places that I'm not. But whatever. I will not worry for the time being. Oh, I also picked up another Quicksilver flask along the way, and I should really use them more often. Yeah, one of many things that I should really use more often. It's a little tough to get in these habits, so here's one of the things I wanted to show you. Your first time around, Piety shows up saying that she failed, but she'll see me again. And the reason she says she failed is because her men were killed by this boss coming up. Now, the reason that these lightning enemies are a clue to your benefit is that the boss uses some pretty strong lightning attacks. And if you don't resist them, you are in for some trouble. Now, let's see if we can dig up the other thing that I wanted to show you in here. Now, the tricky thing about this is that since the layouts are random, it could be in any old corner, and I might not discover it until I've pretty much completed the map. So I'll try to do this fast. I can be a little more reckless than usual because, as mentioned, I'm higher level than I should be. You go away. You too. Nope, nothing here. Ooh, I'm actually using something. Sometimes it's not possible. Even over-leveled as I am, it's possible to go too far. And here we are.
The path to justice is slender and perfidious, fraught with missteps of ambition and despair, egotism and doubt. Should you choose this road, beware those who would waylay your hopes and disembowel your dreams. Remain sure and remain true.
Well, these buzzsaws look rather unfriendly. Whoa, I hit Flame Dash a little too late there. The traps in these side areas tend to deal very harsh penalties damage-wise for not doing things right. These switches lock the doors, but they also freeze some of these saws, allowing you to offset them, and thus allow you to move through without using any teleport shenanigans, like what I do. Not... Oh boy, I was not very precise with my movement, was I? And now I have to use this switch to offset the next set of saws. Although I could really use Flame Dash to teleport through all of them. There are later reasons why I should get in the habit of not doing that. Oh yeah, those buzzsaws will also kill monsters. So I guess that's good. Well, I thought I was teleporting, but apparently I wasn't. Clumsy me. And that's the end. So, lesson learned. In the future, don't try to be clever, just teleport past saws whenever the option is available. The next one will be in a place called the Crypt, which I will visit shortly. Oh, and the reward for killing the boss is a quest item called the Baleful Gem. The withering glare of corruption made corporeal and pellucid in crystal. I had to look up what pellucid meant. It means basically shiny and transparent. Also, the sound of putting it somewhere is unique. No other item in the game has that. It's like a normal skill gem, but less friendly. Well, let's go. Well, to base. I also picked up a couple of prophecies.
The silent giants imprisons a memory of undying misery. A dark tongue whispers dark words carried by the western winds.
Prophecies are something new. Well, let's see if any of these come true. Where am I going next? Well, there was one other quest piece that I picked up, which is Malagaro's Spike. Malagaro loved his tools and took great pains to keep them excruciatingly sharp. Also a unique sound. With a name like Malagaro, he's got to be a good guy, right?
What troubles you bring now?
Well, he died centuries ago, but still. I don't know why I picked this up. Whatever. Next place we're going is for a side quest. It is the crypt that I mentioned a short time ago. I don't feel like re-showing the dungeon with the spike because it's just a whole bunch of spiders, kind of boring to fight. But this next area, I find it fairly interesting for a couple of reasons. If I get there soon, I can explain it soon. Oh, but before I do that, this is a corrupted area. Oh boy. And it is a serious problem. Players have elemental equilibrium. Monsters deal damage as cold, so I'll want cold resist for sure. Well, elemental equilibrium can be useful on the right build, but for my build, which is pretty much all fire, it is definitely not. There is a solution, though, which is I can pick up a different element skill gem. The reason I'm doing the passive elemental equilibrium raises the elemental resistance of a monster against what you just hit it with and lowers it against other elements. So, if I hit a monster with fire, it gains resistance to fire and vulnerability to everything else. So what I need to do is equip an off element to give it weakness to fire once again. The problem seems to be that I don't really have other elements in stock. Yeah. Fire mine. Okay, spark is the best thing I can use at the moment. It's very unreliable. Very, very unreliable. But it's what I've got. Also, it's completely unleveled, but I don't care about that. So, these are Vol areas. They can have some very nice, nasty things in them. And of course, they have rewards for those who are ready to deal with it. Oh, I did actually not know that I attached that spark to a totem, but that makes things a fair deal easier, actually. I wish I had thought of that up on purpose. Of course, another solution is to have this thing reduce fire resistance regardless, but I think the spark totem is more fun. So, you've already also noticed that I'm facing elements that I don't normally. These enemies usually don't appear for a couple of dungeons yet. Oh. This essentially makes me tougher to kill, which is extremely welcome. Especially because there can be enemies with strange modifications that can cause a whole lot of trouble. The main reason I'm doing so well is, once again, I'm kind of overleveled. But I'll happily go with that for a better chance of not dying here. Well, one of the good things about Spark is that it fires a lot of projectiles, which, well, helps to keep the elemental resistances where I want them. Flame bearers? I'm not familiar. Oh, there's the boss. Wow. That could have easily been bad. If it used Flicker Strike and not much else, I would probably take a whole mess of damage there. Vol bosses tend to be rather hyperactive. And this is the main reward. It's usually a Vol skill gem, which has unusual properties. They also have cheerful little lore messages like that. Well, Vol gems require souls to activate, which you get from killing enemies, and they tend to have dramatic effects compared to their base skill. For example, Vol Spark throws a whole mess of sparks all over the place, but it cannot usually be spammed, unless you kill a whole bunch of enemies with those Vol Sparks, getting the souls you need to cast it again. So that can be a pretty nice build if used properly. don't need spark anymore. Wherever it is. So, let's go to where I actually intended to go. Vol Lightning Warp is not a skill that I would use with this build. However, if I intended to make a lightning build, I might have some purpose for it. I'd probably still need normal Lightning Warp though, because Vol skills can be a little unreliable.
On this day, the second Sacrato of Verusi, 1334 IC, the Army of Purity remembers its most devout and beloved servant, Archbishop Geoffrey of Frisia. As spoken by Geoffrey, only will and truth can prevail over the evil of our own kin. High Templar Vol, Commander of the Army of Purity.
Vol is a fairly interesting character, and we might see more about him later. So, this is a dungeon that I have not gone through yet. So we might find some interesting things here. One thing that I happen to know is here is yet another labyrinth test. I'm gonna need to go through 6 of them total to unlock the first labyrinth, or I would if I hadn't done that already on another character. Sorry about that. Oh, one of the things I like about this is just the extremely well-composed music. Once you learn the story of this place, the music fits extremely well. It's this really nice, ancient, melancholy sort of thing. I gotta give props to the artist. Oh, those green markers mean that what I'm looking for is pretty close, I think. Oh, this is the crypt level 1. In that case, I don't know what's going on exactly. But let's find out. Harbinger? Oh, this is an especially dangerous one, because it creates lines between itself and... No, maybe that was one of the minions. But regardless, gotta be careful with these things. Yep, this is the place I was thinking of.
Fear gnaws at the entrails of the faithful and the faithless alike. Fear of the unknown, fear of the future. An empire requires leadership that can assuage those fears through example, through wisdom, through strength. An emperor lights the way through the darkened caverns of uncertainty.
I wonder why fireballs don't count as light sources. Well, these statues do exactly what they look like they do. It's technically safe to walk through there, but I don't want to risk a misclick. Whoa. I did not do that the right way. And here we go. It's important to take notes, by the way, because these kinds of traps are going to also appear in the dungeon that is unlocked by those traps. Although, of course, there are going to be some new traps as well, because that's the sort of game this is. Hello, Way Forward. Good totem. This dungeon has some enemies of varying elements, which is why the necromancers cast a less powerful but also more versatile, just elemental weakness. I don't care about spiders. Well, okay, maybe a little bit. Oh, strongbox. Very nice. And it looks like there is a spirit here, so I better see if I can chase that down. Of course, it is extremely dangerous for me to do so. I don't think I killed it, but whatever. Wait. No, that is exactly what I thought was happening. Man, this is Strongbox Day. Once again, freezes me when activated, but this time I have cold resist, so maybe that'll help. Not as much as I was hoping. Wow, that is a strong freeze. Oh, you can use other orbs on it in addition to identification scrolls. So if it's a normal strongbox, you can use an augmentation orb to upgrade to a magic strongbox. Technically, if you really want to, you can use a chaos orb to even re-roll a rare one, but that's a kind of a waste of a chaos orb. That's a lot a waste of a chaos orb.
When I'm ready, and not before.
Well, we got a nice looking circlet here. Let's see what comes from that. Honestly, not much. The main problem is that I need a red linked slot to power my spell totem, and I don't have that. Something red and blue linked, and I haven't seen too much of that. Watch, I'll probably go over the video and see that I skipped a whole bunch of them. Oh well. Oh, silver coin. So, prophecies are, I guess you could say, powered by silver coins, and you can sometimes get nice stuff from them. This exclamation mark, looks important. And, yep, that's a unique boss, alright. I should stop saying unique boss, but whatever. Another quest item. So this was once a monastery that was of the old type, where the people just studied and offered sanctuary to people who were in need of it, or just really down on their luck. And the people were killed because, hey, war was happening. Oh, nice luck there. And this is sort of a monument to that. There's more lore in-game on it, of course, but I don't have the details available off the top of my head. Sorry. The next few skill points are going to be boring because they're all energy shield, but you know how it is. Alright, next time we're going to somewhere more important.
You are Dream Tender, my new name for you. Badness is everywhere around us. You bring us something good. Now.
Oh, this is a reasonably useful skill gem right here. I'm gonna have to make some room, though. There we go. Respec points. They allow me to remove points and put them somewhere else. They are fairly rare, so if you find that your entire build is not working, it's probably better to just make a new character. Well, the next dungeon is going to lead towards the end of the act, so I'm going to save that for the next video. I hope you enjoyed watching this one. See